please raise your hand and we'll call on you. First one goes to Josh Cohen, OrlandoMagic.com.
Considering Brooklyn is the team that you're chasing for that number 7 seed in the playoffs, how much of a benefit is it knowing that you're going to have them twice on your schedule in the seeding games?
It's big because, we us as a whole, we understand the significance of, winning all 8 games, but being that we have them twice, it's a great preparation to, really see, I think it's at the beginning and the end of how much we're locked in from the first one to the last one and, taking that push to go on to the playoffs.
Christian Bruey, WFTV Channel 9.
Gary, I know you got games coming up, but when you guys got into the bubble, you wore the Vote shirts. And since then, LeBron James donated $100,000 to that cause. Michael Jordan, $500,000. What does it mean to you to see that, people are really continuing this conversation as you guys are, a few weeks into the bubble and about to play games?
It's big. I think us as your athletes, a lot of young guys don't really pay attention to voting, because we move around so much. A lot of guys forget. So I think, us as a whole, understanding after we had that talk with Desmond, how important our voice is to be heard, to now, to see, leaders in our platform making that push to, support voting in all aspects.
Eric Will, 1070 The Zone. Eric, you there? How about now?
Hey, Gary, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Appreciate that, George. So kind of piggybacking off the other questions, you guys are very fortunate to have pretty much the majority of your players play this season. Can you just speak to the impact of, the timing and the continuity and the rhythm of being together?
Oh, it's good. I think with the additions to me and James Ennis, we were trying to figure it out. Coach was trying to put us in there and fit the chemistry that the guys had, and now we have, J.I. back. So it's kind of, it's really a real cool dynamic because we're all so, close and supportive of each other. We really push each other to, make sure we're educated, to know every set from each position and just really helping each other through so that we can be successful because, individual success is also, very good for team success and vice versa. So it's good. We're all locked in and super supportive. I think, just the, you could just see the excitement on the bench from us when, J.I., played well and, from, when I played well, guys are just, raving about, how happy they are for us to be together as a whole and to be able to, really get after it and make a push.
Dan Savage, OrlandoMagic.com.
Gary, obviously you guys want to be balanced on both ends of the floor, but since you've been here, how much is there an emphasis on the defensive end, and how critical is that it is a calling card for you guys if you want to make a postseason run here?
Winning, I just think winning is just, it has to come on the defensive end. And I think, Coach Cliff is, huge on, being responsible and, holding each other accountable as to whatever our game plan is sticking to it. So the biggest part for us is just, executing defensively, offensively, just not letting the ball stick, but our defense is being vocal, knowing what you're supposed to do, and being reliable when you're out there on the defensive end.
Hey, guys, we have about 2 or 3 more minutes. Josh Robbins, The Athletic.
Yeah, hey, good evening, Gary. You mentioned the bench. Obviously, the setup there is different than anything any basketball team is used to, really. How does a team kind of overcome that weird seating setup to create its own energy from the bench?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think we all, have enough room to, get up and do your stuff and wave the towels or, we're not right on top of each other. Rather than a normal bench, we pay attention. Some guys can't get up because one guy's using his leg to stand up. And it's just one of those things where now everybody's spread out. So now if you notice everyone, if something happens, all the guys are standing up and are clapping and, getting excited.
Dan Savage.
Gary, to go back to the defense for a second, how much do you feel does that play to your strengths? Obviously, with the type of player you were at the University of Cincinnati.
Good, a lot, really, because Coach, in some of our meetings, he mentions how he could tell how natural it is for me to make certain reactions when I first got here. Excuse me, and not knowing all our coverages, but just my natural niche to just react and be in certain spots. And now that I've had kind of a stretch of camp, where I was able to get all the terminology and understand what we're doing, it plays a huge part of my strength because, the more I know, the better I play. People talk about, shots I make or being a shot maker or a three-point shooter. Really my calling is I play well if I have 0 points and play really good on defense. So it's big for me because Coach is raving about just defense. So it gets me excited because now I know all our stuff that we're talking, calling, from the guards to Vooch, just really knowing what we're doing.
Are there any other questions for Gary? All right, Gary, I hear them calling for you. Go ahead.